What that means to me as the government means that I will deliver your mail to each state, and I will have established post roads that you can drive on to get your mail. It does not mean I have to deliver it to your door. That's like, you have to understand the government the government has never gone above and beyond. They have always done the minimum in every single right. There's not a single right in the Constitution where the government has gone beyond their mandate. So they have to establish post roads, which are interstate, to be able to deliver mail to the easiest possible destination to deliver it. That would be your capital. So you would have to drive to your capital to get your mail, because there is no constitutional mandate to put it in your fucking mailbox. The only reason it's in your mailbox is because the American people would not accept it being delivered to their capital. But if we're following the Constitution, they don't have to do that. And that's the reason why mail days used to be 7 days a week. It became 6, it became 5, and now we're at 4. Because the government will always do the fucking minimum. There's a reason why if you need a package somewhere, you don't send it USPS. You send it FedEx or UPS or DHL. You never use USPS if you need it to be somewhere, because you don't trust the fucking government to do it, because the government doesn't do anything better than private industry. Private industry, like, I'll put it this way. NASA went to the fucking moon in 1969. And since then, we've been like, we should go to Mars. And nobody did shit. And the SpaceX got into the industry 5 years ago. And now we're 2 years from the first mission to Mars. And what has NASA done? Tried to figure out where they lost all the fucking rocks from the moon. That's what our government is doing. Our government is currently trying to figure out where all the fucking moon rocks went, while a private company is ready to go to Mars. Stop.
I'm waiting for Mommy to request, because she keeps asking to be let up, but
Mommy! Just invite her.
I'm not looking through 861 people to invite one person. I'm not doing that.
Wait, Stephanie, you said I'm lying.
She has to request.
When has the government ever done anything better than private industry?
Mommy, you are not in the request.
Heather Feather requested.
Yeah, but I don't see her either. I don't see Heather or Mommy in the request.
Ecom says they have a fire question. I love fire.
Well, you're letting on one more person. But I want Mommy to come up, because she's been asking. She's just not in the request. And Heather, you're not in the request either.
Heather says she is.
I've got Gabe, Dustin, Martin, Garrett.
I'm going to look for you, Heather. I'm going to look for you, Heather. Heather Feather, there she is.
What the fuck?
Bringing her up.
She's not right here on mine. She is not on mine.
She's coming to mine. What's up, Heather?
Hey, okay, so this is what I do not understand. I'm a Kamala voter.
Oh, I mean, look, everyone.
But this is what I do not understand. All right, and for perspective, I'm also very fortunate, very grateful. I'm a one percenter. My family is a top 1%er.
Rush it, girl.
Yeah, but middle class, lower middle class background, help, union parents, hardworking parents, went to college, student loans, all the things, right? Made it. Driving to the lake house, right? In our Mercedes, right? And we're driving by trailers, and we're driving by houses dilapidated with broken down cars, and the Trump signs are flying. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. Like, someone explain to me. I'll give a few more of my taxes. What the heck? Like, I just don't get why. It's like they're voting against their best interest. Tax the rich, and give middle class people a tax break.
Hold on, wait. Let me ask you. So you say tax the rich?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you do understand that if we said, hey, look, let's take the top 2% in this country and not only tax them 100% of the money they made, but let's also take all of the money they have. Let's not only tax them, we're going to take every single cent they have.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's not.
But say we did. Say we not only took the tax on the money they made, but we also took every cent they had. Do you know what percentage of our federal deficit each year that would pay? That 1 year?
If you tax the billionaires,
Even the billionaires, everybody, you take all their money.
it would be a whole lot of money.
Here's the fun part. It would cover 36% of our federal deficit.
Okay, well, that's a good chunk of money.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We spent 26% of our federal deficit last year on illegal immigrants.
Oh God, for the illegal immigrant. I'm in Texas. Thank God for our immigrants, because I don't know who would do. I don't know who would work it. You wouldn't be able to go to Subway and get a sandwich if it weren't the immigrants.
Heather, you have to understand that we took the top 2% in this country, and we took all of their money, not just the money they made, but we took all of their wealth. It wouldn't even cover 40% of our federal deficit for 1 year.
Okay.
And then we would be out of rich people.
Okay.
And here's the best part.
We'd still be better off than where we are now.
We wouldn't though.
Oh
Because
my
here's
God.
what would happen. Because say we did that, here's what would happen. When you do that, what you have to understand is that the top 2% in this country pay 62% of the federal income tax.
One more, please.
So what you do is, say you take all the money from the top 2%. Now you've paid 36% of our federal deficit. There's still 68% of our federal deficit left. And the next year, you have lost nearly 70% of your tax base.
One more, please.
What do you? I'm not following that argument.
Okay, so I'll make it real easy. So you have the top 2% in the country.
Yeah.
You not only take their money, you not only take their taxes, but you confiscate all their wealth.
What are you talking about? Who's confiscating all your wealth?
No, but I'm saying this is you're talking the max possible scenario. You want the maximum amount of money. Even if you took all of the wealth from the top 2% of the country, that doesn't cover 38% of our national debt. That covers 38% of our deficit for the year. That covers 38% of the money that we printed or borrowed from other countries.
Well, 30% is better than 0%.
No, but here's the thing. When you do that, now we go to the next year. Now that top 2% doesn't exist anymore, right?
That's not true. I'm still making the same salary.
No, but we took all their money. You're about to be not
Okay,
making.
you're talking about something that's completely hypothetical. That's not going to happen. Let's just talk about reality of how it would actually work.
So let me ask you.
You're not going to take everyone's money.
Oh, wait,
No one's proposing that.
Oh no, wait. You say tax the rich. So let's just say we have the top 5% in the country, right?
No, not top. No, top 5% is not taxing the rich.
No, okay. What percentage of the country do you think we should tax heavily?
I would say the top 1%.
Okay, top 1%. Okay, cool. This makes the math really easy. How much should we tax the top 1%?
I would. Well, you want exact amounts? I don't know.
No, just give me a percentage number.
Add like another 5%.
Okay, so let's just say 60%.
Yeah.
Okay, so we tax the top.
Well,
1%.
I don't think I think 60% is higher than what it would be.
So what should it be?
I'm just thinking of what the tax rate is for
You're
you're making
the
more-
emperor of America. How much should we tax the top 1%?
I would say for federal, not including state.
No, not including state, just
But
federal.
I would say between 40-45%.
Okay, cool. So we'll say let's go up a little bit. Let's say 50 because the math's easier,
Holy shit.
right?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? We'll say 50%. Just because I'm doing the math in my head, 50%'s a lot easier.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go 50. But if that's for your math, that's fine.
5% of the math gets really complicated. So let's just say 50%. Say we tax the top 1% at 50%. Now, do you know how much money that would bring in?
would it bring in enough to give the middle class some tax cuts? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why we want to cut taxes for the rich and we don't want to cut taxes for the middle class. Just explain that to me. Explain that to me. Explain that to me.
I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you. If you stop saying, explain it to me, explain it to me, explain it to me, let me explain it to you. So last year, for instance, we had a $1.7 trillion deficit, meaning the government spent, hold on, wait, be calm, hold on one second.
There you go.
So we spent 1.7 trillion more than we brought in, right? We had a $1.7 trillion deficit. Now, if you tax the 1% at 50%, that brings in somewhere between $520 to $580 billion. So now, instead of having a $1.7 trillion deficit, you have a $1.65 trillion deficit. You still spent $1.65 trillion more than you made. This is how I'm trying to explain it to you. We do not have a taxation problem. We have a spending problem. Like if you were with your husband and he made $5,000 a month and you spent $7,000 a month and you went to marriage counseling, your marriage counselor would not look at your husband and go, you need to make more money every month. He would look at you and go, bitch, stop spending money. That's what the marriage counselor would say, because it's not the fault of the person making the money. When you're a fucking spendaholic, and our government spends trillions of dollars more than we make. So our government is the bitch ass fucking spouse that won't stop ordering shit.
Hey.
You order from Temu, you're easy. but that's the thing is everybody is like, we need to tax more. You are the overspending wife who married the middle class guy. Your guy makes 40 grand a year. You spend 60 grand a year, and you think the problem is that your guy makes 40 grand a year. No, the problem is that you're a fucking idiot and you spend 60 grand a year. And your solution is put more on credit. You're a fucking idiot. If you think we have a taxation problem, you're a fucking idiot. We have a spending problem. We have a federal government that is 4,000 times the size it was 70 years ago. When you grow a government by 4,000 times and you grow a population by 17 times, the math doesn't fucking work out.
Hey, Ecom.
All right, what's up, Ecom?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. I'm sorry. I hate talking to overspending women.
No, you're good. That was a fun conversation. I felt bad for you a little bit.
Sorry, I'm used to a woman overspending online.
Mommy wants it. Hey.
Sorry, you spent $760 on Temu. We should have got another house.
You told me I could.
Go ahead, Ecom. What's up?
It was for Halloween.
Wait, you're zoned out. What happened? Ecom, you there?
I don't know. See if Mommy is in your request.
There you go, Ecom. What's up?
I was reading a note. Okay, so I have a really good question, but I want to start with this. I was here earlier when you were talking to that guy, and you mentioned, I don't remember what company it was, but whoever owns Hershey loses money every time they sell a Hershey bar or whatever.
Yeah.
But by the way, I'm a Trump supporter. I agree with you. I just have a solid question. I know you want people to disagree with you, but
Well, please go to town, bro.
okay. So one, I was just curious. So why would Hershey continue selling the Hershey bar if they're losing money on it?
So it's because it's their brand. It's their main brand. Like, I mean, honestly, like if I were to ask you, what do you know about it? What's Hershey's number one product? What would you say?
Yeah, Hershey.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a traditional product. Hershey does that to maintain their name. Right. But honestly, most of Hershey's money is made in bottled water. Like a good example, like Nestle, right? Hershey makes money on that. Mountain Dew. Hershey's makes money on that. Hershey's Park actually loses them money, right? So there are certain things that Hershey does to maintain their brand, but then they get into other things and name them other things so they make money. Like, do you know who the number one investor in Liquid Death is?
I forgot his name.
No, not the owner, the investor.
I'm sorry. I remember the company. It was a long time ago.
It's Hershey.
Yeah.
So Hershey gave Liquid Death $76 million because they were like, yeah, we'll buy into this, right? Because Hershey recognizes that they're not going to make money on chocolate bars. Because do you know what price Hershey would have to sell their chocolate bars to make a profit?
I do not.
$7.
That's ridiculous.
And would you ever buy a Hershey bar for $7?
I don't buy them anyways. But no.
But here's the thing: if they started charging $7, nobody would buy it. But if they started charging $7, everybody would forget they exist.
Yeah.
So they charge $2, and they make $5 on the water.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So I'm just curious because I don't know this. Now the next thought I have is, did they start with Hershey bars and they just was that their plan?
So Hershey started with Hershey chocolate. Hershey chocolate used to be sold at a dime a piece, and they were making 8 cents per bar.
God.
Right? So that was when chocolate production and cocoa production was happening in America. And then they exported cocoa production overseas, which led to an increase in their cost. And it took them from a dime. We did this in school for my MBA. It took Hershey from 10 cents a bar, making 8 cents a bar, to 50 cents a bar, making 30 cents a bar. So their profit margin dropped drastically. And then as the cocoa prices increased overseas, because you had like 10 other companies start making chocolate bars, like Nestle. You had, goddamn, what is the other? I can't remember the other companies, but there was like 7 other companies that started competing for the cocoa price, and it raised the price of goods to Hershey. And Hershey was the smart company, because while all these companies were competing on the price of chocolate, Hershey said, we're going to stop competing. We're going to lower our prices. And that's why they went with their plain Hershey bar, right? And what they did was they bought into a water bottling company. They bought into food companies. They bought into Tyson. They bought into Smithfield. They bought into meat distribution. They bought into all these other companies. And they said, we're never going to involve the Hershey name in any of this. We're just going to buy into it. And we're going to continue to sell our Hershey bar less than everyone else is charging. So the Hershey bar represents less than 1% of Hershey's sales. But it used to represent 100% of their sales. Now they are so diversified across so many things that they have a piece of everything you buy, but they'll also sell you a Hershey bar less than a fucking Nestle bar.
That's incredible. Yeah, okay, so that makes it a lot more sense. I didn't know they started with that. Okay, so my real question. Okay, so I used to be like much more into like debating politics until it just got so old. I was so tired. Like I could see you get frustrated. You know, I just
let me tell you. So my original account on TikTok used to be Team FU Joe, and it was about helping women better understand men. And then I started seeing Fresh and Fit and the whatever podcast, and I recognized that women don't deserve advice. They need to be single if they suck. So I gave up on it too. I get it.
That's hilarious. Okay, so so I gave up. I just got real frustrated talking to people, and it just always found a way back to me, dude. I could not get away from it. So I was like, whatever. So recently,
come back, bro.
So I don't even know if I'd call it good, but I mean, I guess. And long story short, so there's like a small group of leftists, right? I'd say like just a portion of leftists, right? That are just batshit crazy. You know what I mean? Like they'll call you a Nazi. They truly believe.
Oh, wait. Yahtzee.
They'll call you a Yahtzee, and they truly, truly believe that we are that, right? I mean, they really do believe it. So
they do.
After the last couple months of getting death threats and all kinds of crazy shit like that, I got
yelled at by Hamas for like 6 months.
I mean, I just got over it. And the thought couldn't help but cross my mind that, like, if this population of people continues to grow, I mean, like, and I hate to really say this, but I mean, I couldn't help but wonder, like, I mean, the only, like, end I see if it continues this way is some sort of violence. Like,
but here's the reality, dude. You have to accept, and it's a reality I accepted a while ago. The vast majority of the world populace is fucking stupid. Like, people think we've gotten smarter as people. We haven't. We haven't gotten smarter as people. We're just as dumb as we were when we were beating motherfuckers with sticks, right? What's happened is the grouping of super smart people that has drug us forward, kicking and fucking screaming to advancement, has grown, right? There's a larger amount of people, of smart people, that are dragging the rest of society forward. The vast majority of people are fucking stupid, are functional fucking idiots, right? Like, most people you'll meet in your life are fucking stupid. Now, they're smart about what they need to be smart about, right? If they're a bank teller, they know how to process money, they know how to work their machines, but they're functionally fucking stupid. Everything else, they're fucking dumb. If you know how to work in a factory, you know how to work your piece of equipment, you're good. But outside of that, you're fucking stupid, right? And that's true for most people. Like, find your friends and outside of their job, judge how fucking stupid they are. Right? If he's got a mechanic, he knows how to work on a car. Cool. Ask him about physics. He's fucking stupid. Ask him about space. He's fucking stupid. Ask him about how politics work. He's fucking stupid. Right? Most people are functional idiots. And they are led forward by a small group of people that are just dragging society, kicking and screaming forward the whole time. And as long as you recognize that most people are functional fucking idiots, you'll understand how to talk to people.
Well, that definitely makes sense. But I guess let me reframe my question. Like, do you see the future of, like, the dynamic of politics kind of turning violent at some point? Like, it already has in a way, but
no, not the future of politics, but America will fail. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
I had an amazing history teacher when I was in 8th grade, and he told me something that changed my entire perspective on things. He said America's been an empire for 240 years. I said, okay, great. He said, do you know how many empires have existed in the world for double the amount of time of America and are not mentioned in your history books? I said, no. I was like, I imagine none. We're talking like 480 years, right? And I was like, none. He goes, 776. There are 776 empires that have existed for at least 480 years that are not even mentioned in history books. So, like, will America fail? Absolutely. Will it fail in my lifetime? I hope not. But you have to understand is that, you know what the average life of an empire is in history?
Not long, probably a decade,
261 years.
Oh, my God.
So we are 12 years off the average life of an empire. So I fully believe, probably in my lifetime, that America will fail. We will become 50 separate nations, and we will be perfectly fine for probably another 200-300 years. But America will fail because all empires fail. And we are an empire. We are absolutely an empire because we fit every aesthetic of it. We are a people that live well beyond our means. We have borrowed against our future and we cannot pay it. Like, we have fit every example of an empire. And the average lifespan is about 12 more years.
Oh, you think we'll make it that far? I mean, hell, at this point.
I mean, as a united nation, no. I don't think we have another 12 to 20 years in us. I think we will break apart. I think the next progression for America is to be 4 to 5 separate nations. And then I think the progression beyond that is to be much more divided nations. But I would think in my lifetime that America doesn't exist as a nation. If I was looking at history, history says that America will last for another 10 to 15 years, and then we'll become 5 separate nations.
That's interesting, because then you think like sort of like a global superpower, you know, like how would that dynamic, that would change?
Well, no, let me ask you this. What global superpower has lasted? Like, let's think of it this way. You had the Roman Empire, which represents 12 separate nations today. How long did they last?
I honestly don't know the number, but
160 years. You had the USSR. How long did they last? They lasted 49 years. You had the Korean Empire. They only lasted, I think, 19 years. But every empire on earth is broken up. And America is the only empire that hasn't broken up yet. And you look at America and you go 50 separate states brought together as a nation. They can all function independently and have world trade because it's the way it works. Okay, why would they stay together? We have no reason to stay together other than the United States military says if you fuck around, you'll find out. But, like, we really don't have a reason to stay together. So I think in my lifetime, we will have 5 separate parts of our nation, and we'll be fine. Like, you think if the Southeast U.S. broke off and made their own nation, we'd be all right.
yeah.
If the East broke off, they'd be okay. West Coast broke off, they'd be okay. Texas broke off, they'd be okay. Midwest broke off, they'd be okay. Like, we could do it. It wouldn't even be violent. It would just be, we can't maintain.
Yeah.
The problem is, America is populated by pricks, and if people started breaking off, they would act a fool, and we'd probably fight each other, and motherfuckers would be shooting in the streets, but shit would settle down.
Yeah, again, I've been thinking about that like nonstop. You know, like it kind of seems to me like it's inevitable at this. I mean, you can't have a conversation with them anymore, and it's just that population of people is just growing. So I mean, eventually, it's unless it turns around or there's some sort of majority that hasn't came out yet. And I just don't.
Well,
see
I think the biggest problem is that people are addicted to the idea of America surviving, and they've left behind the idea of the American values surviving. Like, I would much rather live in a nation where American values hold true than America holds true. If you said, we're going to cut free from half of the nation and we're going to hold true to the republic values of our nation, cool, I'm down for that. If you said, hey, Texas and all the southeastern nations are going to break apart all the way to Florida and Georgia, but we're going to maintain the values of our republic, or we convert to whatever the fuck is going on in D.C., I'll take the former.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it works, is that it's not about preserving the nation. It's about preserving the nation's values.
So I guess that would be my follow-up question. It's like not really follow-up, but like, I mean, I feel like the values haven't gotten too far out for people who are like consider themselves Republican, or even people who are
not yet. No, we haven't got there yet.
Yeah. So you're saying you assume it's just going to branch off and branch off.
No, I mean, you have to think about it, right? Like, so the current person running for government is proposing price controls.
Yeah.
Right? So I can tell you that price controls have been proposed in 17 nations in the world. Right? In each of those instances, when that person has been elected, so that person has been elected 15 out of 17 times. You know what all 15 of those nations have in common?
What?
Within 3 years, they have become dictatorships.
Yeah.
So I look at everything through a historical perspective. I say, okay, you have a candidate in America that's proposing price controls. And I look at history and I go, okay, who's ever proposed price controls? Okay, it's happened 17 times. And 15 times that candidate has won. That's a pretty good percentage to win, right? So is it likely she'll win with proposing price controls? 15 out of 17 times they won. Now, then I also say, what happened 15 in all 15 of those nations? They became dictatorships. So I immediately oppose it from a historical perspective.
Yeah.
Everything I do, I look at the lens of history.
Yeah. No, I guess I was just saying, like, some things aren't, like, you're not saying, but the way I think about it is, like, not everything's, like, directly correlated to history, you know what I mean? So some things you kind of have to just make assumptions.
But I mean, let's be real, man. We can find everything in history. Like, people are like, I like wide leg jeans. We're like, bitch, those were bell bottoms. Right? People are like, I like this tight sweater. It's like, we did that in the 80s. Right? Like, everything is correlated to history. You can find historical perspective for everything that happened. And you're welcome to ignore the historical perspective, but why?
Yeah. So I guess
it's happened in history and it works out a certain way. I bet you I can tell you how it's going to work out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess another thing I worry about too, like with my generation, is like a few things that I've noticed is like I feel like guys are getting like super feminine now, and I feel like
they're getting bitchified.
Bitch, yeah. I'm basically getting bitchified of that.
Because here's the thing, here's the best part about it. Like, this is one thing I love about TikTok. So no matter how society tries to bitchify men, right? They try to make them these delicate fucking flowers who need to be in touch with their emotions and understand this shit, right? Like, let me tell you right now, there's a guy on TikTok who literally just chops wood for a living, and women fucking come over it.
I know you're talking about.
Women watch a guy chop wood, and then have to wash, and then women have to wash their fucking cheeks.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing: no matter what you try to pitch on a cultural level, it'll never outweigh human emotion.
Yeah.
Let's be real, ladies. None of y'all want to fuck a liberal. None of y'all want to fuck an emotionally available, gentle man. You want a man that can grab you by the throat and tell you he's yours. Right? You want a man who's going to hit you over the head with a fucking club and say you're mine. Fucking stop.
I see notes. Oh,
like,
God.
ladies, stop advocating for shit that doesn't make you wet. Simple as that. If you look at a guy and you're like, this is what we want, and you're dry as the Sahara, shut the fuck up. Just like guys, stop acting like we like fat chicks. Stop acting like it's acceptable. Lizzo's not hot. And ladies, if you want to tell us Lizzo's hot, that's fine. When I tell you look like Lizzo, be complimented, not offended. Stop fighting against human nature.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Is like even like subtle things, like you were saying. Like it's not even like women like getting like straight up feminine guys. You know what I mean? It's like subtle, slow, incremental changes to femininity. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, I'm born and I like to suck dick. You know, it's not like just gay dudes popping out of the womb. You know, it's like
no. But here's the thing: there's always going to be gay guys. More power to them. Love who you want to love. That's fine, but you understand that as a population, we won't continue if that became normal. There's nothing wrong with guys who like guys. There's nothing wrong with women who like women.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Fine, but like my gay buddies will tell you, they're like, look, I'm glad not everybody's like me because we wouldn't exist.
Yeah, well, I was kind of saying, like, I know the whole gay thing, so I mean, I understand there is a small percentage of
legitimate. It's fine. Love
it's fine.
I tell people all the time, love who you want to love. If you're a man, you love men, love that man. Do your thing. Love it. But recognize that I can't call it normal. I can't say that a man loving a man is normal, because if a man loving a man was normal, and that happened 2,000 years ago, we would not exist.
Yeah.
And that's just not reality. Like, we're biologically built for a man and a woman. And if a man loves a man, cool, do your thing, bro. But don't tell me to call it normal, because we'll all die if that's normal.
I think that's like a big problem with that whole topic too, is most people are perfectly fine with it. It's just people try to change. Like, I have a question real quick, because I actually have a gay cousin who just got married. She's a girl.
Good
and
for her.
she's on board with, like, she supports Trump and all that. she's got a good head on her shoulders. You know, they know.
Tells me she thinks, look, she knows what she loves. She fell in love with her. She married her. Good for her.
No, she's super happy, but like she got into a spot where she was real kind of getting weird about adopting kids, and I told her, I was like, I don't think you should, you know, like I think unless you get real lucky and that kid happens to have gender euphoria and grows up in a perfect household.
But that's the thing though, is that if you're going to be a lesbian couple and you adopt a kid, you have to just teach them that what you're doing is abnormal.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you accept the fact that a woman loving a woman is abnormal, and you teach your child